hug them, and even if you're like, no way, yes way, because without the boosters, we would not be financially able to do Writers Week. So please go home and thank your booster parents, and if your parents aren't boosters, maybe encourage them to do so. The second people I want to thank, you guys aren't probably aware of this, but the people who founded Writers Week, Mr. Gary Anderson and Mr. Tony Romano, both have retired now and kind of handed on the reins to two other people, Mrs. Gina Ank and Mr. Russ Anderson. So can we all give a round of applause for Mrs. Ank and Mr. Anderson? They have done so much work. Mrs. Ank is hiding right there. So without their work, this would never happen either. I always like to give a shout out to the tech crew because they also do such a great job with everything, making us heard, etc. So thanks, tech crew. I also want to thank you guys because without the students and you guys being interested in Writers Week and being here and supportive, we wouldn't all be sitting here either. So you also have to clap for yourselves.
Yeah.
Woo! Wow. You don't sound very enthusiastic for yourselves. You're like, yeah, whatever, I'm good, it's all right. And I also want to give a shout out this hour because we are really excited for the first time ever in Writers Week history. First time ever, and you guys are witnessing it. Our superintendent is here. Dr. Dan Cates is right here in the second row. And we are so happy. Thanks. I'm like, oh, we are so excited. Thank you. Thank you. All right. To let you guys know who it is that you are seeing, and then I'll finally shut up and get out of here. First of all, our speaker this hour is a writer in residence at Teen Writers and Artists Project. He was featured in the 2009 documentary Louder Than a Bomb, which was about the world's largest youth poetry slam festival. Just a year ago, in March of 2014, he co-founded the Chicago chapter of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade. And the next is a quote that I got from him off the Google, the internet. And he describes himself as, quote, a poet MC / teaching artist / singer-songwriter / revolutionary from right here in Chicago. So please help me welcome Adam Gottlieb.
Thank y'all. Yes, I'm super excited. The last period was a lot of fun. And yeah, this is such an honor to be here. It really is. Both because of the history of this program, going all the way back 21 years, Gwendolyn Brooks. It's amazing. It floors me when I think about it. And also just for the opportunity to speak to y'all for 50 minutes or whatever, or do my thing up here, so thank you. Also, def shout out to the sound crew. They're really professional. They were setting all the stuff up, and they just gave me this mic, and it sounds like it's working, because I move around a lot. So can y'all hear me? Awesome. All right, so I speak my heartbeat. On your eardrum I drop it. All people are poets, and poets are prophets. When you speak your truth, God's speaking through you. We were made to communicate, and this is what we do. Your voice is your voice, so nobody else can reach for it, teach for it. Only yourself. So show what you know that is known just to you. Poet. Speak poetry. And know it is true. Thank you. Thank you. So yes, like she said, I'm a poet, MC. MC means rapper. Teaching artist. So teaching artist. What does that mean? I teach and I am an artist. So as much as I perform and as much as I love performing, what I do as much and what I love at least as much is facilitating creative writing workshops and other workshops, particularly with young people, particularly with high school. High school is where I kind of got started as a poet. I got involved in this thing called Louder Than a Bomb, which then ended up, they made a movie about it, and I was in it, and it changed my life, and it was amazing. And it really set my life on a course that I I'm just grateful for every day. But real quick, has anyone seen the documentary, Louder Than a Bomb? You have? Hi. Awesome, that's cool. But that's cool that I get to introduce a lot of y'all to it also. So have you or anyone else ever been to the festival, Louder Than a Bomb, in Chicago? Y'all, now is the time. It is every year from February through March. It's the biggest youth poetry slam festival in the world in Chicago. And it's amazing. Kids come from all over the Chicago area as far as Indiana. There's like 1,300 of them. So, yeah, so this is a little piece about how that changed my life, what it introduced me to, and how that led to where I am today. She also mentioned revolutionary, so we'll talk more about that as we go on. So, for lack of a better title, this piece is called Manifesto Written After a Cipher at Young Chicago Authors, which is the organization that does Louder Than a Bomb. I was born with hella privilege. White skin, doors open. Live in hella north up on Francisco Ave near Orthodox Hasidics, just within the city limits, near Devon's Indian village, so even though I was comfy, the city's diversity was still imminent, for example. At the magnet K-8 school I attended, half the kids were black, but they apparently offended mostly white affluent faculty and often got suspended, so I knew there was some stuff that Reconstruction hadn't mended. In 7th grade, I felt depressed because school was hella boring. I hated the fact that it made me go back every day and kept ignoring that. I couldn't care less about standardized tests, my childhood written for me, even being rich and feel like living, and this is the root of my story. I went to Northside College Prep, the best school in the nation, but Louder Than a Bomb is where I got my education, learned to listen, heard another side of the equation, saw the power of the spoken word for massive integration. Now I'm rocking the pen with a rock and a vengeance, finding the flow a little bit, keeping the hustle and spreading the gospel and grinding the teaching not biz, using the music to get moving to it and murder each bar that I spit. You can tell by my flow that I come from the go and been wordplaying since as a kid. I'm talking about MCs from Chicago like Depsy and Tomorrow Kings, Bella Boz, Nate Marshall, Emmanuel Vince, and Lamar Jordan, No Name Pivot, Deja Taylor, FM Supreme, Ray Jackson, April Fools, now mean and a million unmentioned, Renaissance, yep, and I'll be repping the shy till I'm dead. Now I'm on a mission for freedom, for my people, so I've been breathing, revolutionaries and dreaming about a world that we can all breathe in, where there's no one dead for not eating, and money ain't even needed, and I'm never gonna stop like a radio puppet. If I make it to the top, it'll be because y'all deem it necessary. Let's get very real for a sec. It's getting scary. The system's broken, the cloak is tearing. It ain't a joke, it's a smoking barrel conclusion of this revolutionary, not a prophet, more like an emissary, here to say that with bravery and brains, our generation could do something legendary. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, has anyone written a poem not for school? Yes, raise your hands. Cool, cool, we got some poets, that's what's up. Any MCs, any rappers, any bar spitters? Maybe some aspiring, okay, dope. What about theater kids? Where are my theater kids at? Yes? A little tepid, but cool. We are in a theater right now. This is a pretty beautiful set, I must say. Yeah, so I did theater, I wrote poetry, and then I saw spoken word. And it was like, whoa, you can do both at the same time. It's like acting, but it's your own words. It was revolutionary. It was amazing and mind-blowing to me. And then I got involved in Louder Than a Bomb. Well, that was how it happened, and here I am. So. This is a piece that I memorized in high school. This is not by me. This is by the MC Denison Kane of Typical Cats, a hip-hop group from Chicago. And it's about what poetry is. There's one other definition of poetry I'll share before that piece, which is from Gwendolyn Brooks, who was on this stage 20 years ago. Gwendolyn Brooks said that poetry is life distilled to a crystal. Pretty good definition of poetry. Denison Kane said, Poetry is the language of imagination. Poetry is a form of positive creation. Difficult, isn't it? The point? You're missing it. Rocking's kind of new to me because my true love is poetry. I don't know what you thought, Hops, but Chief, I've got tall props. See, this be the rebuttal version to Mr. Academic who does not believe that my poems would, could, should have muscles and bodies like this one. I want my poem to be brazen and long-legged and squash mud under a hard yellow heel's wicked gravity. I wish to leave this lab of brains swishing in jars and write poems that shatter glass with undeniable bodies. I want to be a word that wants to be a sweating brick, so drink that through your pointed teeth and critique it. I want to be the strophe that strokes the ear in salty heaves, a spine that bends and works like the dance you shut the door to be. Listen to me with your hips. Clutch this line in the fleshy grip of bold thighs. Eat through your ears and drink through your pores. And if you see me splashed across a page, know that a leaf is a tongue that you wear to make love to a voice not your own. Eat this poem. Floss with the barbed length of a simile and scrape your tongue across the living verses. Bristling skin, my eye is just my eye, I promise. I believe in closure, but not in hospital corners. The way first principles are real but untraceable. See, God is meaning, means becoming, means I knock before I come in. Means I wriggle through the riddle of the flesh to outsweat it. Means I wear my impertinence upon my fluttering lip. My refusal to bow out to some abstract curtain and exist backstage by the sandbags and pulleys. Hell no, I exist to be seen, to see and be seen, to push my eye to the thou, because the premise of my rhythm is the unapologetic, emphatic insistence of the declarative sentence. That's right, bad boy. I am, I is, I be. Forget you, I can speak about myself in rhyming couplets if I want to. I am, I is, I be, I do, I self, I delve, I solo, I dolo, is, I. And my mother's talk stories from beginning to end. Listen to this poem with your hips. Dope. Which I also think is a pretty good definition of poetry. All right. Y'all want to get mad at the education system? Yeah. Okay, let's do it. The superintendent's here, so what better time, right? But y'all, listen, don't say anything mean about your teachers or the people who work very hard for you every day, because whether or not you like them every day, they work really, really hard. And that's part of what this piece is about the whole system that makes it hard for all of us here, students, teachers, and it's no secret that the system is like not working, right? So let's talk about it. What are some of the things that you would like to see change in the education system, or what are some of your biggest problems with it? Let's raise hands, I guess, unless that's part of the system that you don't like. Yeah. Standardized tests. Can we all say boo, standardized tests? Boo. Well, unless you like them, right? Okay. What else? Yeah. So much memorization, rote knowledge, not a lot of critical thinking. Yep. Nothing new. We all know it. Yeah.
A number should not determine who you are as a person.
Preach. A number should not determine who you are as a person. Thank you. Thank you. You got something? Not enough? Not enough STEM. Interesting. That's real. Yeah. There's not a lot of things. Yeah.
The amount of stress the student is faced with.
The amount of stress the students are faced with, right? And teachers too, for that matter. You know? I mean, I think it's crazy. You're at a growth spurt time in your life when you need the most sleep. But if you look at like sections of society, like how far do you think high school students are on like getting sleep? Pretty low, right? It's ridiculous. It's frankly violent, and you know, I think we have to come together intergenerationally, teachers and students, to stand up for the education system that we believe in. And so this piece was kind of inspired by the Chicago Teachers Union's actions a few years ago during the teachers' strike, and even more recently, I wrote this piece specifically for a convention of the Tri-National Coalition in Defense of Public Education, which is a coalition of delegations from Canada, the US, and Mexico, all of whom are facing similar problems with the war on public education by the corporations that run standardized testing and the materials that go with it, and you know, the government kind of serving them instead of y'all. So this piece is about that. It starts with a quote by Paulo Freire from his book Pedagogy of the Oppressed, but that's a like $1 million word, right? Pedagogy. Does anyone have a basic idea or definition of that? Pedagogy. So real talk, I like avoided learning what that word meant until like my third year of college, because it always sounded really pretentious. But it's actually a really important word. Pedagogy is the science or philosophy of teaching. What does it mean to teach? What is education? So Paulo Freire was a revolutionary educator from Brazil. In 1970, wrote Pedagogy of the Oppressed. And in that, he said that education either functions as an instrument which is used to facilitate the integration of the younger generation into the logic of the present system and bring about conformity, or it becomes the practice of freedom, the means by which men and women deal critically and creatively with reality and discover how to participate in the transformation of their world. Paulo Freire, Pedagogy of the Oppressed. Kevin Coble, who started Louder Than a Bomb, said, hip-hop was Freirean before we read Freire. Pedagogy of the poets. This is our classroom, this cipher, this circle, this open mic to amplify our voices, this talking stick, this ritual, this space where we are all teachers and students, and our conversation is the lesson. Voices in dialogue, in concert, testimonies meeting, alchemizing in the air. This is our eternal truth, our only theory, our sacred text ever changing. We are movement, evolution, truly human, being praxis. We practice the art of speaking and listening. The word and the silence are the legs on which we walk. The word to name ourselves and the world. The silence to hear what others are saying. The word to know, to defend, to dream. Silence, soil, to receive these seeds. This is the garden, the ecosystem. This is art and age-old wisdom. This is the theater, this is the stage, this is the altar on which we pray. This is our church and our town hall, our Congress and congregational. This is our government, we are the legislators. This is our classroom, we are the educators. Capitalist pedagogy works top down. Study for the test, listen up, shut your mouth. Standardized curricula written by the state, memorizing disconnected facts for a grade. Keep it compartmentalized, don't connect the dots. Teach them to be satisfied with the poverty they got. Never use the word oppression, that's unpatriotic. Don't teach ethnic studies or you'll go to jail, got it? Water down the history, literature, social studies, out with creativity. We don't need critical thinkers, do we? In a system where the vast majority of jobs are to slave away for minimum wage, working for the boss. But something new is happening now, even that is gone. Computers, robots, automate, creating a new problem. They don't even need us now, so they're closing all the schools, beefing up the police state and changing all the rules, taking back the pensions, cutting welfare, closing clinics, putting dictatorial rule in the state of Michigan. If this ain't a form of fascism, then I don't know what is. Tyranny of corporation slavery, Inc. Rom and his buddies up in City Hall huddle like a pack of vicious vultures to callously shutter up another public school till there's not even one left. Selling education not for charter paychecks. Packing 50 students in a class with old books, cutting back special ed, art and music go first, then it's nurses, counselors, janitors, lunches, gross meat. Soon enough, they're sitting in a room with no heat. But it's all about the kids, right? Rom is on our side. It's not his fault we got an educational apartheid. It's gotta be the teachers. You know them people lazy. Better bust the unions up, cut their payment, raise fees, call me crazy. But I think I see a pattern. They're taking away our basic needs while they keep getting fatter. Their politics are like the class is just monologue, turning schools into prison soft holocausts. All of us now have to make a decision. Keep trying to fix a broken capitalist system or redesign society. Unite for a new vision where everyone participates and everybody listens. This is why we make a space for everyone to talk. This is what democracy looks like, hip-hop. This is our pedagogy. This is why we rock the mic and we pass it so the cypher don't stop. Thank you. So, I kind of want to know what y'all think about that. Any thoughts? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. That was a really good comment. Can I use the mic, actually? I don't know. Or maybe I can just try to repeat it, although I can't do justice. But I think basically you said, you know, that going to school for as many years as we do, 12 or whatever you're at so far, sometimes you feel oppressed, right? Because you don't get to put your opinion and your story into what you're learning. You just have to go and learn. Is that fair enough? Thank you. Sorry, I simplified it. It's more beautiful than that, but yeah.
I feel like this isn't necessarily a problem in our education system. It's just something that I think is really important. Teachers, and I'm not saying they're lazy, I love my teachers for the most part, but they shape the future because the youth is the future. And like if they see certain teachers who are just telling them what to do and giving them a packet and read this and write down this, and that's how we're raising our future.
Right. Yeah. Who's sick of packets? Yeah? I'm sick of packets too. That's no way to shape the future of the world with a packet, right? Well, how about you gotta engage their mind, you gotta engage their hearts, right? Thank you. That being said, the teachers, how many teachers are sick of packets too? Any teachers? Yeah? Yeah, their teachers are like, yo, you still got to do your packets, but and you do, but a lot of times, now I don't want to speak for the teachers in the room, but you know, they have their own set of limitations too, right? And that's kind of what the poem was about. There's a whole lot of rules, especially in public education, that is placed, and a lot of the forces behind that are not looking out for you and me. They're Scholastic and Pearson trying to make money off of like materials and then like lobbying for these laws like No Child Left Behind, Race to the Top, that kind of push in favor of the standardized testing. And all of that pushes teachers more and more out of their own creativity. And so it's important to understand that because like they're in a similar position too. But your point still remains fair that it is the duty of the teachers to work as much as they can within the limitations that they have to engage, right? Yeah. Anything else? Yeah.
I like what you're saying, you know, be creative and stuff, but if we're all creative and we don't conform, all we're going to be left with is a society.
Huh. If we're
all doing what we want, then we're
Right. That's a fair point. If we're all doing what we want, being creative or whatever, where's the order? Isn't that just going to lead to anarchy? It's a fair question. Yeah. I think there's a balance, right, that has to be found between that structure that creates that freedom, right, and to see those two things as kind of necessary for each other, structure and freedom. But it needs to be a kind of structure that supports freedom rather than, just squashes it, or, But that is a fair question, which we won't get into right now. But yeah. Yeah, right? I mean, I feel like school should be like way more field trips, way more, like going to see, right? Thank you. I'm glad y'all feel that. I think it's kind of obvious, frankly. I mean, like, we need to do things that, learning should not be boring, right? I mean, yeah. Learning is what life is all about. We are humans. We are meant to learn. We are naturally curious. Boredom is violence. No one should be bored, ever. That's ridiculous. Why do we have a society where we're raising generations of bored young people? That's not doing the world any good. But so I just went on a little soapbox based on what you said, but that was what I took out of what you said, right? And more opportunities so that you're more exposure to different cultural experiences and everything. Yeah, awesome. This is really fun. I'm enjoying the talk a lot. Do y'all want to hear another poem? Yeah. Okay. How much time we got? 15. Okay. I promised a couple people I would do this one piece, but let me do something before that. Okay. On the subject of violence, right? I just said boredom is violence. This is a piece about peace. What is peace? What is violence? So I'm going to need y'all's help. Are you ready? That didn't give me a lot of confidence. I know you're ready. Y'all ready to help me out? Yeah. Awesome, thank you. So when I go like this, I need y'all to yell, peace! Can you do that for me? Awesome, all right, let's try. And it's going to go to a rhythm. You ready? So watch carefully.
Peace! 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 Peace!
Double time.
Peace! Peace!
Triple time. Nice. Oh yeah. Ready? We need peace. My people at war, but they don't even know it, so the poets got some more to say. This is a propaganda battle coming for your brain, cause that's the war terrain. We about to storm it rain, cause the perfect slavery is chainless, the perfect traitor is blameless, the perfect racist ain't hatred, it's mind enslavement, the matrix oppression came with and stays in the USA's DNA. We gotta name it to change it, but corporations are faceless. Gotta wake up the nation, mental emancipation, collective co-education. Collective co-education, we're talking real reparations. We need peace. What's that? That's a lot to ask when every piece of our society's a robbery act, where violence is the normal way of life, a common fact. Then on top of that, our nature's not intact. We want peace. What's peace? Just a lack of war. But what's that even mean when we know what that's actually for? It's just to capture more, get a high capital score, so the elite keep getting richer while they tax the poor. Hey, ain't that the war? Because that's the bigger violence. It isn't the one biggest war, the bigger silence while they spout their lies to keep us all reliant. They keep closing public schools. That's where massive fire is. That's war. And war is when there's folks on the street on every block holding a cup because they got nothing to eat. When there are women, children lying, dying, trying to sleep. When people keep getting beat, locked up and killed by police. We need peace. I mean, we need a whole new game where everybody gets to eat and gets a home to stay in, where we can equally distribute water, clothes, education, healthcare, and make these basic needs society's basis. That's peace. We're talking revolution now, because that seems to be the one solution. How else are we gonna feed the people who computers ousted from their food and housing? Are we human now? We want peace. That means we need justice too. That means democracy for everyone, not just a few. So we can turn our selfish culture into something new. I wonder, could you trust in me if I could trust in you? Because that's peace, and that's the overwhelming need. Not just a lack of war, but actually a mental leap. And finally becoming that which we were meant to be. We're talking death and rebirth, you best believe. We want peace. Yeah, we need peace. Yeah, we want peace. Yeah, we seek peace. Yeah, we breathe peace. Yeah, we are peace. Yeah, we want peace. Peace, 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 peace. Peace. Thank you. Peace. Awesome. All right. That was fun. Thank you. All right. I'm going to do one song, because I promised a couple people are Abby and... I'm sorry, I'm forgetting y'all's names. Are y'all here? What are your names again?
Abby and Becca.
Abby and Becca. This is for y'all. But it is also for all of y'all and for me too. And for all of us and for people everywhere. So hope you can share. This is something a little unusual. Ooh. Very dramatic. Shout out to the tech people. Thank you. That's actually appropriate. So this is something a little unusual for me. I don't usually identify as religious in the way that people use the word. I'd more likely use the word spiritual. Although it's funny that those two things have stopped meaning the same thing, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you. But recently I've been kind of reclaiming some of my Judeo-Christian roots a little bit. My dad was Jewish, my mom's Catholic. I've been looking at the Bible, and I've been looking at it a little differently. And this is a piece, or part of a longer piece, that comes all from scriptures from the Bible, that to me is about the true message of what I think that lineage and that faith is about, which is love as the foundation for human relations and societies. Love is justice. And so, yeah. Let's try that. My dear people, let us love one another, since love is from God, and everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. Anyone who fails love has not known God, because God is love. God is love. And anyone who lives in love lives in God, and God lives in them. If a man who is rich enough in this world's good saw that one Thank you. All right. I think we can turn the lights on. All right, so, yeah. Thank you so much. It was truly a blessing. Yeah. Yes. Do we have time for questions or 5 minutes? I also have CDs and an email list, so you can come holler at me after the words. I'd love to talk with you. But yeah, any questions or expressions? Yes. Oh, that was called Yahweh Speaks, Movements 2 through 3. That's on the CD I have. It's just a 5-track demo, but that's one of them. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
You guys see the people asking you about poetry now?
Thank you. Yes, I do. And only you know because you've seen the documentary. Yes. Although I have to say, as much as like it does get repetitive, it never stops, you know, being a boost and a kind of a nourishment for me to know it's such a blessing, you know, right? To have a poem of mine that has inspired so many young people. It's the most humbling thing in the world. And actually, I say that I do, but I'm not one to talk because I'm wearing the same friggin' shirt I wore when I was 17 when the video was filmed. So it shows I'm still, you know, feeling that poem and that time of my life for sure. Thank you. Is that a hand back there? I do. My SoundCloud is, yeah, I do. Hit me up, search. You can find it probably by Googling me. I also have a Bandcamp. And actually the CD that I'm selling for $5 as a physical copy you can get for free or, you know, pay what you want on my Bandcamp. So Adam Gottlieb, at Adam Godlove on Twitter. Follow me on the tweets. All right. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it makes me very happy when people follow me on Twitter, follow me on SoundCloud, follow me on YouTube, all that good stuff. But any other questions or things you want to say? Yeah. Thank you. Good question. Who's my favorite poet? Such a good question. So impossible to answer all the time. But, you know, I'm very much inspired by Patricia Smith, Saul Williams, Climbing Poetry. Oh, y'all, search Climbing Poetry. They're a duo. Poetry is spelled Poetree. Get it? Yeah. And also some of the old school mystics, you know, the Sufi mystics, the Catholic mystics. A lot of my friends, really, you know, people I go to open mics with. Araceli Skirmay is another favorite poet of mine. Pablo Neruda, of course. Yes, we could go on and give you some places to start. Any other questions? Yes? All right, advice to any future performance poets. Very good question. My advice would be, it's, you know, the kind of question that you're like honored and scared by when you get it. It's like, wow. To really, it's, you know, kind of obvious, but be honest. Yeah, no matter what. In your writing and in your performance, be honest as you can. And sometimes you're going to cry when you're writing, and sometimes you're going to cry on stage. But that's what communicates. And honesty doesn't just mean crying either. You're going to express the whole range of emotions, but let yourself, you know, and make sure that you're always doing it for you in order to give your truth to the world as best as you can, and not like for some ego reasons. Although we all go through that, I'm still going through, you know, all the various ego trips along the way. But just try your best to stay focused on, you know, the integrity of the art. Awesome. Yeah. Any others? Y'all ready for lunch? Awesome. All right. Thank you so much.